Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, children. Welcome you to our online teaching academy Ekalaiva. Today we are going to start our new lesson in social science, geography, unit 6, man and environment. The learning objectives of this lesson are: we are going to know the components of environment, to understand the various features of human environment, interaction, to know various settlement patterns, to know the different economic activities of man, to understand the environmental effects of human behavior. First, what is meant by environment? Environment is a set of relationships between man and nature. So how man depends on nature? So we would have discussed about early human beings. Man has survived through the ages living within his surroundings called the environment. So the word environment is derived from the French word environ, meaning encircled or surrounded. So the meaning of the word environ is encircled or surrounded, and environment includes both living, that is biotic, plants, animals, human beings, and non-living components like natural forces like sun, moon comes under abiotic components. Now, early man depended entirely on nature for food, clothing and shelter. So in our lower classes, you would have discussed about the food, clothing and shelter of early man, and he had enjoyed a very important position over the living organism. He had control over the other living organisms around him because of his erect posture. So physically, only human beings had erect posture even today, and we have hands and intelligence. We have sixth sense. We have thinking power. We can find out the difference between good and bad, etc. So from the Paleolithic period to the Neolithic period, we discussed a separate lesson about this Paleolithic age and Neolithic age. So from that, we came to know that man has invented and developed the invention of wheel. We discussed how he discovered fire, how he used different types of tools and different patterns of agriculture he practiced, and how he constructed his house, which led him to improve the standard of living and which helped him to technologically advance. So thus modern man modified the environment where he multiplied in numbers, but today population rate is very high, isn't it? And how human beings started to form territories and how he extended his territories, about various civilizations we discussed, leading to the exploitation of natural resources. Now, classification of environment. Environment is generally classified as natural environment, human environment and man-made environment. So in this flowchart you can see natural environment: land, air, water, nature. Here human, the different aspects are political, economic, education, religion, community, family, individual. Next, man-made: industries, monuments, buildings, parks, bridge, roads. Now we are going to discuss about natural environment, human environment and man-made environment in detail. First, if we take natural environment, so in our previous chapters, we discussed in detail about lithosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere and biosphere. In this chapter, we will study about the human and man-made components in detail. So first, what is meant by human environment? It is defined as the relationship between man. So what is the part of a man as an individual? What is the relationship with his family? And what is his part in his occupation? And what is his part in the society? So it is related with education, religion, economics and politics. So these are the various cultural aspects of human beings. Next, man-made environment. Man-made environment has been created by man. So man-made means created by man. So for what purpose? So it was created to satisfy himself and for the purpose of fulfilling his needs and to make his life more convenient and easy. So for example, we can take buildings, transport, parks, industries, monuments. These are all the various creations of man. So to bring an equilibrium between man and the environment, so to understand all these things, it is very essential to know about the distribution of population, availability of resources, development in technology. So alternate means of fulfilling the increasing demand created by the growing population. So our population is growing, isn't it? So to fulfill all our needs, so it is very essential to discuss about this. Now, population. So we can't imagine a world without human beings, isn't it? So human beings are important to develop the economy as well as society. So if you take the word populace, Latin word populace, which means people. So what is meant by population? The total number of people living together in a particular place at the given point of time. So for example, what is the population of India in the year 2020? So how they will calculate? The total number of people living together in India at this year 2020, for example, we can take. So that is called population. So population is total number of people living together in a particular place at the given point of time. So what is demography? So in ancient Greek, demos means people and graphis means study of measurement. So demography is the statistical study of human population. Now population growth. So it is very easy to add number of people but difficult to maintain it. To satisfy their needs is very difficult task. So population is a dynamic phenomena. So it keeps on moving, changing phenomena where the number, distribution and composition are constantly changing. So human population, when we say it is increasing when more number of babies are born, and it decreases when people lost their life, when people die. So for most of human history, births have only slightly exceeded deaths every year. So if we take our past history, we came to know that there is only little difference between the births and deaths. There is slight increase in births when we compare to deaths every year. So as a result, human population grew slowly. So about the time of Industrial Revolution, it started to increase fast. First, natural increase of population. What is meant by natural increase of population? It is the difference between the birth rate and death rate. So what is meant by birth rate? The number of people born per thousand, and the death rate is the number of people died or expired per thousand is known as death rate. So the difference between this birth rate and death rate is known as natural increase. So population is always increasing, but only in rare cases it will decrease. So for example, during natural disasters such as famine, landslides, earthquakes, tsunami, epidemic, now we are familiar about COVID, isn't it? So extreme weather conditions, these are all the various reasons for decrease in population. Next one, population change. It refers to an increase or decrease in the population of an area influenced by the number of births, deaths and migration. Migration means movement of people from one place to another for various reasons like education or job opportunities, or for luxury also some people will migrate. So the population of the world doubled from 500 million in the year 1650 to 1000 million in the year 1850. So just the estimated or expected population for 2025 and 2050 is about 8 million and 9 billion respectively. Next, what is meant by population growth? So it refers to an increase in the number of people who reside in a particular area during a particular period. So it depends upon the development of that region. Many people will tend to move from one place to another in search of employment opportunities and education. So increase in the number of people who lives in a particular area. So for example, we can take this year how many people are residing in Chennai, like that. So that is called population growth. Next one, census. It is an official calculation of population carried out periodically. So it records various characteristics like age, literacy, sex and occupation of the people. So different countries of the world conduct census every 5 to 10 years, which was recommended by the United Nations. Actually, the first known census was undertaken nearly 6,000 years ago by the Babylonians in 3800 BC. And Denmark was the first country in the modern world to conduct a census. Make a note of this, children. In India, the first census was carried out in the year 1872. So census have been conducted regularly every 10th year since 1881. And if we take the Indian census is the most comprehensive source of demographic, social and economic data. So Indian census collects various details about the population, about the standard of living of the people, economic development of the country. So the credit goes to the Indian census. Now population increases when there are more births and immigration. So the other reason for increase in population is immigration, international movement of people. So for example, some people will be entering our country for job opportunities or for education. So that is called immigration. So it decreases, population decreases when there are more deaths as well as immigration. So immigration means from our country if people move abroad for studies or job opportunities, it is called immigration. So now here we can see Black Death. Black Death is estimated to have killed 30 to 60% of Europe's total population during the 14th century, and the reason for this is the outbreak of plague. Okay children, today we discussed certain components about population. Tomorrow we will continue this topic. To receive our online lessons, please press the subscribe button and you will receive the latest updates. Thank you children.